Today is Sunday, September 18th, 2016, and this is the beginning of an interview with Norman Price at the VFW Veterans Village in Fort McCoy, Florida. My name is Tommy Hurst, and I will be interviewing. Also present is Samuel Kwiatkowski, who will operate the video. Could you tell us your full name and address?
Norman Michael Price, Fort McCoy, Florida, 32134.
And what was your rank?
Spec 4.
Where and when were you born?
June 4th, 1945 at 6:45 p.m. in a very famous place, Langley Field, Virginia. That's where CIA headquarters are.
How old are you today?
71.
Who were your parents and what were their occupations?
My father was, you mean where they were born and all?
Yeah.
Yeah, my father was born in Minsk, Russia. My mother was born in Paterson, New Jersey. My father was a baker, Jewish baker.
Can you describe your basic training?
Well, I did my basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey. I was there for like 7 months, and then I was sent to Germany. And 2.5 years I was in Germany. I had orders to go to Vietnam, but I only had like about a month left, so they rescinded the order.
What weapons did you qualify on during your training?
Pretty much everything. I was a sharpshooter.
What was your military specialty?
I was a baker, and they put me, because I was a baker, they put me through cook school. And I came out as executive chef.
Did you receive any special training?
For
just the military in general?
No, not really.
Do you remember your instructors?
No. Actually, I think I still have the original book from when I graduated from Fort Dix.
How did they treat you?
With respect.
That's good. How did you adapt to your military life?
I adjusted very well.
Were you married or single?
At that time, I was single. I didn't even shave back then.
What do you recall about the physical regimen?
I was very active. I mean, when I enlisted in the Army, I was 128 pounds. I mean, I was really skinny, but I was strong.
What do you remember about the barracks or the food?
Well, the food was good because I cooked it. The barracks, where I was stationed when I went to Germany, or you talk about?
Yeah, when you went to Germany.
When I went to Germany, it was only 5 barracks. I was with the engineers, missile battalion. The other 4 were with the engineers. And they were one of the first ones to go to Vietnam because of their, building bridges and all that stuff.
Did you serve anywhere besides Germany?
No, other than Fort Dix, New Jersey for the basic.
What are some memories of going overseas?
We went over by boat.
How was that?
A long ride.
Were you part of any specific operations?
No.
What year did you enter the service?
March 64.
And you said you served in the Army?
Yeah.
What were you doing before you entered the service?
My father told me to be a baker.
So you did that in the service as well?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did some baking, but also they put me through cook school.
Did you have any siblings?
Yeah. Well, when I went in?
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
What was his name?
Leonard Price. And my 2 sisters. One is Candy London. She now lives in Tennessee. The other one is Miriam, and she lives in Utah.
Did you witness any action?
Not over there, but later on, as I said, if you ask me
Yeah.
about my background and everything.
Did you admire your commanding officer?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you admire the people you served with?
Most of them.
Did they treat you well?
Most.
What kind of friendships did you form while serving?
I try to be friends with everyone. I treat people the way I like to be treated.
Do you still have any of those friendships?
No.
How did you stay in contact with your family back home?
I was able to call.
Colin, right?
Yeah.
What did you do when you were off duty?
Played sports.
Where were you when the war ended?
Well, I got out in February of '67. War didn't end until I think, 71? I think so.
How long did you serve?
2 years, 11 months.
How did you return home?
By plane.
Was that better than boat?
Oh yeah, a lot faster.
How long were you overseas? 2 years?
2 years. Almost about 2.5 years.
What did your family think about you joining the Army?
Oh, my father served in World War II, and my brother served as a reserve. And later on in 1978, myself and 5 or 6 others joined the reserves. So I spent 3 years with that also.
How did you adjust to civilian life?
Not hard.
What have you done since leaving the Army? Or leaving the military?
As far as what?
Just life in general.
Well, 5 months after I came home, I married someone who was 17, I was 21, and I had that terminated. Just did not work out at all. And yeah, I repeat that question.
What have you done since leaving the military?
Okay. At one time, I owned some stores. Now here's the good part. When I moved to Florida in 1976, in 1978, I became a police officer. And I was a police officer for 17 years. I was also on one of the most prestigious boards in Broward County, where you have to be appointed by a county commissioner, and I was on that for 16 years. And where I lived, I was president of the Condominium Association.
Who are your best friends?
Were or are?
Who were they?
What,
During
in the
war?
military, or
Yeah.
I don't remember.
What are your most memorable experiences?
Before and after and during the service?
Not much, really.
Has your military service impacted your feelings about the war?
I'm appalled that some of these football players refusing. I'm totally appalled. And Miami Dolphins especially. Most of them are going to be sitting or kneeling.
How did your wartime experiences affect your life?
Didn't really. I was proud to have served, and
What effect did serving in the military have on your faith or spirituality?
Well, I'm Jewish, but I'm a conservative Jewish person. I used to go, like on holidays, I used to go to the temple and drink Manischewitz wine, but that was pretty much it.
Would you want your son or daughter to enter the military?
If they wanted to, absolutely.
Have you ever remained in contact with or reunited with fellow veterans?
No.
Are you a member of any veteran organizations?
I was with the Jewish War Veterans, Post 148 in Philly.
What are some life lessons you learned in the military?
Survive.
What lessons would you like to pass on to today's generation?
To respect the flag and respect police officers and get rid of this Black Lives Matter crap and, all these who refuse to. Well, hi.
Excuse me, I just have to take some pictures.
Oh, okay. But that's pretty much it.
Was there anything we forgot to ask?
No, not really.
Where did you receive your basic training?
In Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Do you have any stories?
No, I was just proud to have served. I said I still got a picture from when I was in the military.
Really?
Yeah, I got it in my room.
That's cool. Did you and a buddy join together, or did you just?
No, I just
enlist
joined on my
yourself?
own. I joined on my own.
That's good.
This interview has to be at least 30 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
So if you haven't, I know you wanted to tell us about your background. So
Well, I pretty much did.
just you were a police officer for
17 years.
17 years. Did you see any kind of action or anything during while
Oh,
you were
yeah.
a police officer?
Oh, yeah. I
kind
made
of
the
things-
newspapers a few times.
What kind of things did you have to do?
Well, the one I made Samaritan of the Year because when I was working in Cooper City, the main road out there was Flamingo Road. Back then it was just one lane each way, and on each side of the road was a 60-foot deep canal. And got a call, somebody heard skidding. So I went out there, and the other officer went out there, and as I'm driving that area, I saw skid marks on the road, and I looked over, and I saw a car totally submerged. Even the taillights were about that far below the water. So I called in my location and took off my gun belt, took off my shirt, jumped in the canal with a Kel-Lite, which is a heavy-duty flashlight. And I was able to actually look in, and I saw the driver like this. So I started trying to break the window open, and it alerted him a little bit. So I went, like this. And he was able to roll the window down, and I was able to pull him out and save his life. And as I said, for that, I made Samaritan of the Year.
And you got in the newspaper for that?
Yeah.
What other times did you get in the newspaper for?
One for directing traffic. They took a picture of me. A couple stories of when we had a call about somebody who had raped someone, and he gave a description of the car, and I saw the car, and I pulled him over and arrested him. Also, I was involved with an incident where a guy was running after, or two guys were running after this one guy with a gun, and they had a gun, and I was able to apprehend him. I didn't have to shoot him, fortunately. He listened to my orders, dropped the weapon. And there's a couple other things, but,
Was there ever a time you had to use your gun?
no.
Yeah, how did being a police officer, did being in the military prepare you to be a police officer, or?
No. In fact, I had, from when I was in high school, in 1957, I was 12 years old, and they did a thing in our room with our names and thing, and on it was ambition, and I wrote down to be a police officer, 12 years old, and followed up on it.
What age did you become a police officer?
I was old, 32.
And that was in what state?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second. There you go.
Oh. Silly me.
Are you taking a picture of that?
And put it on the video.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, we have 15 minutes to go.
Do we have to?
No, I think we're good actually.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because I want to start watching football games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. All right. Thank you so much. It was
You're
a
very
pleasure.
welcome.
Thank you.
Same here.